What's up, Gravity Falls fans? Welcome to the very first day of Gravity Falls Week here on the Infinity Corner and beyond. Today, I'm going to be counting down my top 10 favorite Gravity Falls episodes. Let's check it out. So to kick off the list, I'm going to start off with A Tale of Two Stands. Tale of Two Stands is the episode that came out right after Not What He Seems. Well, actually 6 months after. Thanks, Disney, for all the hiatuses. So anyway, Tale of Two Stands just tells the story of Stanley's past, who we thought was Stanford, but Stanford came out of the portal, and now Stanford is actually Stanley, and Stanley is actually Stanford. You know what I mean? Anyway, A Tale of Two Stands just tells the past of Grunkle Stan and Grunkle Ford, and we find out how Grunkle Stan started the Mystery Shack, which was pretty cool. How he needed money so he could actually live. So people were just asking if he does tours, and he gave in to peer pressure, and he didn't know what he was doing at first, and that's how Lazy Susan got her lazy eye. But over the years, he became more successful, and now the Mystery Shack is a hit, and now we know it as what we know it as we know it today. And then we got to learn more about when they were little kids, that Ford was just born with his 6 fingers, and that was A Tale of Two Stands, and I just like all the continuity of it, and we got so many mysteries solved now. Alright, so next up on my list is the inconvenience scene. And this episode is from season 1, when Dipper and Mabel meet Wendy's friends like Robbie and Thompson. And they go to a convenience store which has been abandoned for years after the owners tragically passed due to hip-hop and teenagers. So the ghosts of those people still haunt the store, and they just hate teenagers, so of course they hate that Dipper and Wendy and all of them are at the convenience store, and they haunt them all. But we got some of the best moments from this episode. For example, this moment.
Well, who wants a lammy, lammy, lammy? I do. So go up and greet your mammy, mammy, mammy. Hi there. So march around the daisy.
More.
Don't you forget about the baby.
And who could forget the most iconic moments in the show? This part.
Mabel?
The future is in the past. Onward, Sayoshiba!
And those are just some of the clips from that episode. Another one of my favorite parts is when Stanley. It is Stanley. One of my favorite part is when Stanley is watching the movie on his television, and they have these long names, and it takes place in the olden age, like Gone with the Wind type era. And at first he doesn't want to watch it, so he's like, "Kids, get the remote! I can't find the remote!" And then later in the episode, we see him eating ice cream, crying with the blanket over himself, watching the episode, which is basically me whenever I watch a Gravity Falls episode. So, Grunkle Stan, I feel you on a spiritual level. Number 8 on my list is Scary Oki. Now, Scary Oki is the season 2 premiere, which we waited an entire year for. But Scary Oki is the first time that our characters deal with zombies. Yes, we've seen them on The Walking Dead and any other type of media, but finally the Gravity Falls characters have zombies in the show, and they are amazing. And who knew the way to defeat enemies zombies is to have a 3-part harmony. Someone tell Rick Grimes now before it's too late. The only thing they gotta worry about is Negan, but you know. Anyway, But I like Scarioki. It had a lot of action than I thought it was gonna have. And then Stanley just comes and has a bat, and he's like, bah, bah, you zombie idiots can't harass my family. Only I can harass them. And then we find out that the journal has blacklight in it, and this episode is it's too intense. Wait, I still have some more intense episodes coming up. But that's number 8 on my list, and now let's move on to number 7. So number 7 on my list is Into the Bunker, which was the second episode of season 2. And luckily we only had to wait like 3 days for that. I think Scarioki was August 1st, and Into the Bunker was August 4th. So, yes. Too bad that never happened again. But in Into the Bunker, we got to see more of Wendy, and like she joined the twins on their adventures along with Seuss. But so the way they found out about it was through the blacklight, which we found out in Scarioki. So there was the secret bunker that the author, Stanford Hines, had built in case of a apocalypse or anything like that. But I highly doubt that will happen in Gravity Falls. I mean, it's a kid's show, right? But so anyway, they go into the bunker, like the episode says. So when they go into the bunker, they find all this prep stuff for a bunker. Yeah. And so they find a secret, Wendy finds a secret doorway, and when they crawl down there, they find out that there's actually a shapeshifter who was voiced by the amazing, incredible, force-wielding, amazing, incredible, all-around amazing guy, Mark Hamill. And so he turns into all these different things, including the characters themselves, and it gives us one of the most emotional parts in the show, and I'll show you that right now.
No, 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 no! Can you hear me? Oh, please be okay, please be okay! Oh no, oh no! This is all my fault. If I had told you when we were in the closet, we wouldn't be in this mess. But I was too scared, and now you could be hurt or worse, and I never even got a chance to tell you. I'm like, in love with you, Wendy.
Dipper?
I'm not crying. You're crying. Number 6 on my list is Gideon Rises, which was the season 1 finale. And this is what really got me into the show. Like, I was into the show from the very beginning, but after seeing this episode, I was like, okay, yeah, there's gonna be mysteries, and it's gonna be really intense now. But just the final, like, 5 minutes of it, 6 minutes maybe, when the gigantic Gideon robot is chasing Dipper, Mabel, and Seuss, and they're just going through Gravity Falls trying to get away, and then the final battle is on the train bridge that that goes through the mountainsides, and just we finally see Dipper man up like he wanted to in Dipper versus Manliness, and he defeats Gideon, saves his sister, and my favorite part is when Dipper punches Gideon, and the whole robot just falls off the bridge, and everyone's just flying up in the air, and it looks helpless. And then out of nowhere, after everything's on the ground and there's a huge explosion, you see Dipper and Mabel saved Dipper's life with her grappling hook. But I don't think I've ever cheered so loud when I saw that. My face through it was just like, yeah! And that was my reaction to Gideon Rises. Number 5 is Not What He Seems. This is one of the biggest Gravity Falls episodes ever. If you're gonna watch just like a little bit of Gravity Falls episodes, this is the one to watch. Actually, all of these top 5 are the episodes you need to watch if you're like,
I haven't really been into Gravity Falls. What episode should I watch?
Listen to these top 5. So number 5 is Not What He Seems, and Gravity Falls fans will know what I'm talking about when this episode was really intense. All these episodes were really intense. But this one, so it took place right after the Northwest Mansion mystery. And we were like, where's Grunkle Stan during this entire thing? He was never in the episode, neither was Seuss. However, Not What He Seems, we finally found out was what Grunkle Stan was doing during that he was actually downstairs in the basement getting ready or prepping the gigantic machine, the gigantic portal, and we're gonna finally find out what it does in this episode. And so, as the episode went on, a bunch of just gravity anomalies happened and everything was being lifted up into the air. And we were like, okay, what's gonna happen to that portal? Is like everyone gonna die or get sucked in or something to another dimension? But no. In the final 2 minutes, Alex Hirsch and his team, they had one of the best cartoon moments I've ever seen, where everything and everyone was lifted up into the air, and the final battle happened in mid-air, and then, when everything was done, they revealed the author, and it just so happened to be Grunkle Stan's long-lost twin brother, Stanford Pines, which people have been making a theory about ever since Carpet Diem in 2013, and it's 2015, and we finally get confirmation. But that's why it's number 5 on my list, but it's still not one of the most intense episodes, and I'm pretty sure you guys know what I'm going to be talking about soon. So now let's move on to number 4. Number 4 is Weirdmageddon 2. Now, this one's number 4 because it doesn't have as much action as the other Weirdmageddons, but I'll get to those later. But we do get some really cool flashbacks into Dipper and Mabel's past life, as how they've always been there for each other. And we find out that the terrified citizens of Gravity Falls are now twisted and joined together to become a gigantic, massive throne of frozen human agony for Bill Cipher. Yeah. But this Gravity Falls Weirdmageddon episode had a lot of heart in it, and after the events of the first Weirdmageddon, we kind of needed that. But that's one of my, at least in the top 5. But now let's get into the top 3. So number 3 is Weirdmageddon Part 1. Weirdmageddon Part 1 takes place right after this next episode I'm going to talk to you guys about. And we finally see Bill Cipher taking over the town of Gravity Falls. And the cold opening of Weirdmageddon Part 1 is the best cold opening I've ever seen. The voice acting of Alex Hirsch of Bill Cipher, and just the music in this episode is so good. But it's a really great episode, and we get to see how truly evil Bill is. But the number 1 episode will show us just how evil he is. And it really makes me excited for the next chain of episodes that come after Weirdmageddon Part 1, which are Weirdmageddon Part 2 and Weirdmageddon Part 3. Great trilogy. And now let's move on to Part 2. So Part 2 is Dipper and Mabel versus the future. This is number 2 because it's actually, I consider it the beginning of Weirdmageddon. It's kind of like the prequel to it, and then the ending is the beginning of Weirdmageddon. And I kind of have a funny story, actually, of when I saw this episode for the first time. So my mom and I were watching it. Shout out to Mom, who also watches Gravity Falls. So we were watching it, and everything's all fine, you know, just the alien chase with Dipper trying to stay forward, and we're just like, whoa, this is so intense, oh my gosh. And then we get to the fight with Dipper and Mabel, and I'm just like, oh, my heart is so sad, no, and Mabel's running away, no. And then, Blandon comes and tells Mabel, you can save me with just this little device, boop. That's my Blandon impression, pretty good, right? Yeah. But, so he persuades Mabel into giving him the rift. Then he drops it. And then Mabel's like, wait, what? And then we hear laughing, and it sounds awfully familiar. Then he lifts up his goggles.
And he's possessed by death!
My face during this entire thing was, I actually was teary-eyed when I was watching it. After 10 minutes after it, I finally like woke up from like a coma. I was just like, for 10 minutes. Yeah, I was, yeah. And then, that's that. And then you hear the end credits. Let me just show you the end credits. Yeah, you just hear, ah, ah, and then the poster flies away. It's like, and now let's move on to my #1 favorite Gravity Falls episodes, Weirdmageddon Part 3, Take Back the Falls! So of course the series finale of Gravity Falls had to be my favorite Gravity Falls episode, because I'm pretty sure all Gravity Falls fans can agree that that's one of, if not the best Gravity Falls episodes ever, because we get to see a bunch of forgotten characters. Well, not forgotten, they just haven't been in as many episodes as we want them to be, but they get their moment to shine, including Larry King. His wax head just randomly pops up, eats Granda's hair, and is a flagpole. And then we get a Pacific Rim type fight with the Mystery Shack against Bill Cipher's henchmen to the tune of the Gravity Falls theme song, which is now a rock and roll cover, and it's beautiful. And then that's only the first half. Then you go to the second half, and then also in the first half we finally find out the wheel, like the Cipher wheel. We find out Dipper's the pine tree, Mabel's the shooting star, Seuss is the question mark, Wendy's the ice bag, Robbie's the broken heart, Gideon is the tent of telepathy, Pacifica is the llama, the glasses are Fiddleford McGucket, the 6 fingers are the author, and then the Grunkle Stan's Fez is obviously Grunkle Stan. And then, so we finally found out that, and then in the second half, Bill Cipher turns really, really evil, and he takes the Pines family hostage, and he's literally has Dipper and Mabel in his hand, and he's counting down to which one he wants to kill. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and he's about to kill Mabel with just the snap of his finger, but luckily Ford stops him in time. And then we find out that Ford was actually Stanley dressed up as Ford in order to trick Bill, so Bill is now in Stanley's mind, and now he's gonna erase his mind to save Bill, or not save Bill, to kill Bill, but save the rest of the town. And it's just a really great episode. If you haven't seen it, I don't know what's wrong with you. You have to see it right now. I'm pretty sure it's online somewhere. I don't think it's on Netflix, or you can just buy Hulu just for that one episode. But that is my #1 favorite Gravity Falls episode. So those are my top 10 Gravity Falls episodes. And I want to know, what are your top 10 Gravity Falls episodes? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like this video, leave a like and subscribe. And I'll see you tomorrow for the rest of Gravity Falls week. See ya!